Hey guys, welcome to 11:30 at 11:30, highlights from the Silver Linings Playbook with me, Paula Shaw. You know, 11:30 is 11 minutes and 30 seconds of some uplifting news, some good news, rather than more statistics and more things to be fearful about. Well, I have some really good news today. And I'll bet you, those of you who have been following me are probably really glad, because most of you will remember that I cried through the whole darn segment yesterday. To which, by the way, talking to my mother last night, I said, "Did you see the segment?" And she said, "Yeah, you cried too much, and why didn't you have any Kleenex?" So, Mom, because I know you're watching, I've got my Kleenex at the ready today. However, I don't think I'm going to cry, because something very cool happened yesterday. Now, one of the things I said early on in this thing is, we don't know how long our hunker in place, or shelter in place, as they're politically calling it, is going to last. So I told you early on, I didn't think every day, because I made this commitment to be here daily, it would be doable to do the hair and the makeup and show up. So, you know, I've been here in a baseball cap a couple times, and last week I wore my little hat from Italy, and I'm sure you'll be seeing hats again. But one of the things that I thought would be really good for us all is to make this real. And so yesterday, as you all know, I really had a tough time getting up in the morning, making myself feel like it mattered if I got out of bed yesterday. And as a result, I cried through the whole darn segment. And lo and behold, I got a call from one of my dearest, oldest friends, one of my best buddies from high school. Oh dear, I just realized I forgot to set my alarm here, so I'm going to have to take a couple minutes off of that. There we go. So I'll stick to my 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Anyway, Patty Garfield and I were inseparable in high school, and we had a lot of really great times together. She was a friend of the family. She was like one of my parents' other children. And, you know, I'm delighted that even though we realized yesterday we've gone down the road a little bit here in life, and just this, was it last year? I keep forgetting if it feels like it was last year, but it might have been the year before. We had our 50th high school reunion, and had such a good time reconnecting with the old gang. I mentioned yesterday that it's so much fun for me to sometimes see the names of people who are watching, and a lot of them have been my old buddies from Buena Park High. Buena Park we proudly sing, hail, all hail. Remember that, you guys? I was the head cheerleader, and God, we had some good times in high school. So, and she told me that Patty Bell, one of our other buddies, who was one of the head people that organized the reunion, has been sharing my little segments with the Facebook page with our reunion folks. So that makes me so happy. And hi guys, it's so good to know that the old Buena Park team is still out there, and we're all still part of each other's lives, because those high school days were very, very special on so many levels. So I had a wonderful chat with Patty yesterday, who, by the way, reached out because she saw me crying on this segment yesterday. So the point of that story is, we might as well be real with each other, because we're all just folks, right? You know, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. Most of us are baffled by our hair. We like certain things that aren't good for us, and we hate other things that are. we all are a little bit addicted to something. We're just humans, right? We're just humans doing the best we can to get through whatever life presents to us. And so in that, we're always connected. We're always connected. And one of the things I'm kind of loving about this time now that we're all having to stay indoors and connect in other ways. I'm yesterday I called my niece, and there she was with no makeup on and her hair pulled back. And of course, she's like early 30s, so she's still gorgeous. But why not? I did this little number one day in a baseball hat with no makeup. Well, very, very little. No skin makeup. So being real with each other, I think, is one of the ways we'll get through this. Because I have to tell you, Patty and I had some real laughs yesterday about, like you look in your cupboard, and I don't know about you guys, but I live alone. I opened my cupboard this morning and I started to laugh again because I think I could feed a family of 6 for 2 months with what's in my pantry. Those days, in the early days of the shelter in place, where we were all running to the grocery store thinking there wasn't going to be any food in the coming days. And it's so silly. I mean, truly, I should be inviting friends over every day to help me eat all this food, except I can't invite you over. And virtual eating doesn't work very well. Though, by the way, an idea I wanted to share that my daughter shared with me, and we're going to actually do one this weekend. Zoom happy hours. Now listen, if you don't already have Zoom, you can get a version free, or you can pay $15 a month, have a little fancier version. But Zoom is the bomb because you can see the person you're talking to, just like you're seeing me right now. And it goes back and forth. When you talk, I see you, or we can go into gallery view. So my daughter came up with the idea, or maybe she found it online, who knows, of Zoom happy hours. So isn't that a cool idea? Yeah, I've thrown that out to a couple of people now, and we're going to be scheduling some Zoom happy hours. So think about doing that. We don't have to be all alone, and we've all got stories to tell at this point in time, don't we? And one of the things I realized yesterday was telling the stories really helps to make this all more doable, and realizing that we have so much in common in what we're experiencing. So consider a Zoom happy hour. The other thing I really wanted to talk about today was fitness. Because, one of the ways I told you I crawled out of my bed and out of my funk yesterday was first doing some meditation, and then getting down on the floor and doing the crunches and doing some basic yoga stretches and some other things to get my energy moving. And today I was more in the mood to bounce out of bed. I did the same thing. I did some yoga stretches first, then I did some cardio. Luckily, my gym is putting things online that I can work with, because as I mentioned a couple of days ago, it's hard for me to torture myself, so I'll do 10 reps and think that's plenty, where, the trainer is going, all right, we're going for 30, we're going for 40, and I'm like, oh my God. But I'll do it if somebody else is encouraging me to do it. So I'm going to encourage you to do something that gets your body moving today, because especially those of us who are in the boomer generation, it's pretty much move it or lose it at this point in time, isn't it? So I am taking a walk, or 2 or 3 every day, and doing some kind of fitness work. So whether it's yoga, even just stretching, walking, it's so good for your energy to move it, to get it going. And, we all have to be active these days about creating our own happiness, because we're not going out there in the world where we have a chance meeting with somebody who's super great and makes us laugh, and then we feel a little surge of joy. So make those phone calls count. Oh, and reach out. Patty told me she had reached out to another one of our old friends from high school yesterday, and that made me so happy. I've got at least 2 reach out calls scheduled for today. And another call I got from another friend yesterday who also saw me crying. Just touches my heart so much, you guys, that there you are. You know, when we need each other, we're there for each other. And my friend JJ called, and I'm looking forward to a catch-up call with her today too. So I ask you, who are you going to call today? What kind of exercise are you going to give your body today? What are you going to do to treat yourself well? Because remember, guys, our inner child, the inner child and the inner adolescent is having a tough time with this, because the child likes activity and the inner adolescent likes socializing. And right now all they got is us, the inner adults, who aren't nearly as much fun as the children and the adolescents. So let's tune into them. Let's remember they're there. They're part of our mind, our heart, our being. Your inner child wants to have some fun today. And whether you do that dancing in your living room, or skipping down the sidewalk, or standing up and hooting and hollering, something. And that inner adolescent wants to hang out with friends. So who are you going to hang out with on Zoom or on the phone? Or in some way that gives you some relevant connection today? And for our inner children, by the way, I'm going to flash the picture of our mascot, the quokka, who I introduced to you all about a week ago. The quokka is actually a real animal that lives in Australia. And they are the most adorable creatures on the earth, and they're great role models for us because they always are smiling. So if you're not feeling like a quokka today, get your quokka on. Put on some fun music and shake and move and dance. And I think that's one of the best ways to get ourselves going. Because if you don't have a friend to do it with you, then do it with your inner child. Close your eyes and imagine you as a child dancing, doing the moves, making yourself happy. Children are so excellent at that. That's why early on I said, children and dogs, tune into them. Watch videos of them. Go on your walk and look for them, because they are living full out. They're not worrying about tomorrow. They're in the moment, right here, right now. And right here, right now, my 11 minutes and 30 seconds are up. So I want to say I will be taking the weekend off, so I won't see you tomorrow and Sunday. But I promise I'll be back right here at 11:30 on Monday. And I look forward. By the way, I really would love to hear from you. Private message me, make comments at the bottom here. And please, if you know somebody who might be cheered up by just having a little cheerful, uplifting conversation, some tips, some news, that kind of thing every day, please share this with somebody that might get a smile out of it. And thank you, all of you, who are giving me a smile every day. Take care and have a fabulous weekend. Bye.